Live a life without regret. Chapter 1. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with the sudden fear? That time is moving too fast, that life is slipping through your fingers? You lie there, staring at the ceiling, wondering where the last 5 years went. Maybe you feel like you're doing everything right. You show up, pay your bills, reply to messages, smile at strangers. But inside, there's a quiet ache, a whisper. There has to be more than this. That whisper. That's your wake-up call, when routine becomes a cage. It begins so subtly, you hardly notice it. You start saying maybe next year to things you once dreamed about. You say, I'm just tired instead of, I'm not happy. You smile in photos but feel hollow inside. Life becomes a loop. Wake up, commute, work, scroll, sleep, repeat. You don't hate your life, but you don't love it either. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're just stuck. And the thing about being stuck is, you often don't realize it until you're deeply, deeply rooted. The silent moments that change everything. Wake-up calls don't always arrive with thunder. Sometimes they come in the quietest moments, watching an old couple holding hands and wondering if you'll ever have that. Seeing a child laugh freely and realizing you haven't laughed like that in years. Standing in the shower, feeling the water run down your back, and suddenly asking yourself, is this really all there? These moments, tiny as they seem, are powerful. They're your soul trying to get your attention, the life you were meant to live. We are not here to just survive. We are not born only to check boxes and meet deadlines. We are not meant to coast through life, only feeling alive during short vacations or lucky weekends. You were born to live wide awake, to love deeply, to fail bravely, to chase wonder, to leave something behind that matters. And yet, most of us live as if we'll never die. We say someday, like it's guaranteed. But someday isn't promised. What will you regret? Let's imagine this. You're 85 years old, sitting alone on a quiet porch. The sky is orange with sunset. You're looking back on your life. What regrets do you see? Is it the job you stayed in too long? The person you let go too easily? The dream you buried to be practical? Most people don't regret what they did. They regret what they were too afraid to try. And if you don't decide to wake up now, someday that regret might become yours. The courage to ask the hard questions. Here are 3 questions. They might make you uncomfortable, but they could also save your life. If nothing changes, what will my life look like in 10 years? What am I pretending not to feel? What is one thing I would do if I wasn't afraid? Don't just hear those questions. Write them down, sit with them, be brutally honest. That honesty is your first act of freedom. This is not the end, it's a beginning. The wake-up call isn't there to shame you. It's there to invite you. Invite you to take a deep breath and say, I want more than this. I deserve more than this. And you do. You deserve mornings that excite you, people who see you, work that fulfills you, moments that make your heart swell, not shrink. And most of all, you deserve to look back one day and say, I really lived. Chapter 2. The weight you carry and how to let it go. There's a kind of heaviness we carry that no one else can see. You show up, you smile, you do your best, but deep down you're tired. Tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. Tired in your bones. Tired in your heart. It's not always about stress or lack of rest. Sometimes it's the weight of unlived life, of unspoken truths, of silent pain that's been stored for too long. You may carry the burden of what you didn't become, or the pain of what someone did to you, or guilt for something you said or didn't say. And without realizing it, that weight becomes a part of you. You adapt around it. You smile through it. You call it normal, but it's not normal. It's numbness, emotional backpacks, Every person walks around with an invisible backpack. Inside, we carry memories, fears, expectations, regrets. Some of us carry heartbreak from 10 years ago, still fresh. Some carry shame from childhood, still hidden. Some carry the pressure of being perfect, still crushing. And here's the thing. You can't run freely with a heavy backpack. You'll always be one step behind your own life. The world keeps telling us to move on. But how can you move forward when you never had a place to set that weight down? What are you still carrying? Take a moment to ask yourself, what story have I been telling myself that keeps me stuck? Who hurt me that I haven't truly forgiven? Not for them, but for me. What moment do I replay in my mind when I feel unworthy? You don't have to answer right now. But your body already knows. Sometimes the weight we carry doesn't show up as tears. It shows up as back pain, stomach knots, sleepless nights. It shows up in how we push people away, or in how we stay in the wrong place for too long, or in how we keep proving our worth to people who never asked. Letting go is not forgetting. This is important. Letting go does not mean pretending it didn't happen. It doesn't mean what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you deserved it. Letting go means you're finally tired of suffering twice. Once when it happened, and every day since when you keep holding it. Letting go is a quiet decision. I will not let this own me anymore. And it's not a one-time act. Sometimes, you'll have to let go again and again until the memory no longer has a hold on your future. The power of naming it. What you don't name, you cannot release. Say it. Write it. Speak it out loud. I feel abandoned. I feel like I'm not good enough. I feel stuck in the past. When you name the feeling, you create distance. It's not you. It's just something you're experiencing, and what you experience, you can eventually let go. A lighter life begins with truth. You don't need to carry everything. Not every opinion, not every role, not every memory. You can let people misunderstand you. You can let go of who you thought you had to be. You can drop the guilt that was never yours to carry. Your life doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be yours, and the lighter your soul feels, the more space you'll have for joy, love, and peace. Let this be your beginning. Today, try this. Take a quiet moment alone. Close your eyes. Breathe in deeply, and say gently to yourself, I no longer need to carry what hurts me. I choose freedom over fear. I deserve to live without this weight. You might not feel different right away. That's okay. But a seed has been planted, and healing, like life, always begins small. Chapter 3, Becoming Who You Were Meant to Be. There's a version of you that you haven't met yet. Someone brave, someone kind, someone clear on who they are and what they want. Someone who lives with intention, not out of fear, not out of guilt, not for approval. You were born with a spark, but somewhere along the way, you dimmed it. Not on purpose. You just got busy surviving. You adjusted, you played safe, you fit in, and now, you're wondering why something feels missing. The lie of, you're too late? One of the cruelest lies the world whispers is, you missed your chance. You're too old. You should have started years ago. But let me ask you this. Are you breathing? Then it's not too late. Your story isn't over. Not even close. Many people start their true life in their 30s, 40s, 50s, even 70s. Clarity doesn't follow the calendar. Purpose doesn't check your ID. You're not behind. You're just on a different path. What if your best chapter hasn't been written yet? Imagine this. You wake up one morning and finally feel like yourself. You're no longer performing for people. You speak honestly. You say yes when you mean yes and no without guilt. You create, you rest, you walk away when it's time. That version of you is not imaginary. It's just buried under expectations, fear, and noise. But It's there, waiting, breathing. Stop asking for permission. You don't need permission to change. You don't need permission to dream again. You don't need anyone to validate your next step. You're the one living your life. And if something feels off, you are allowed to fix it. They may say, "You've changed." Good. You're supposed. To growth isn't betrayal. It's self-respect. You are not broken. You're becoming. You may feel lost right now, but lost is not forever. Sometimes, you need to lose who you were to become who you were meant to be. The confusion you feel, that's not weakness. That's growth knocking. It's the ache before the breakthrough, the silence before the song. Let yourself evolve. Let yourself shed old skins. Let yourself rise. You don't owe the world a version of you that keeps you. Small steps, big shifts. You don't have to transform overnight. That's not how real change works. It begins with small shifts, saying no to what drains you, saying yes to what excites you, taking a walk instead of scrolling, writing a single sentence, going to bed early, telling the truth. The next version of you isn't found in a grand gesture. It's found in daily alignment. One decision, one moment, one breath at a time. You already have what it takes. Here's a truth you may have forgotten. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to come home to yourself. The courage, it's already in you. The wisdom, it's already in you. The creativity, the strength, the clarity, already there. This book isn't giving you something new. It's helping you remember what was never lost. Start here. Start now. No more waiting. No more when I feel ready. No more when life calms down. You are ready because your future self is calling, and their voice is clear. Come find me. I'm worth it. Chapter 4. Letting go of who you thought you had to be. You've been carrying a version of yourself that was built to survive. The polite one, the strong one, the quiet one, the overachiever, the people pleaser, the one who always says, "I'm fine." That version of you had a purpose. It got you through hard times. It helped you feel accepted. It protected your heart when the world wasn't kind. But now, that version is heavy. It's tight. It doesn't fit anymore. You've outgrown it, and that's okay. You're allowed to let go of who you thought you had to be, so you can become who you really are. You don't owe your past self a lifelong commitment. We all build masks to make life easier. We wear them so long that we forget. They're not our skin. We call them personality when they're actually just habits formed from fear. And then, one day, the mask starts to crack. Not because you're broken, but because you're breaking free. Letting go is scary because it feels like losing something. But what if you're not losing? What if you're returning? Returning to the real you, the one who laughs too loud, the one who cries without apology, the one who isn't perfect but is fully alive. There's no shame in change. You are not fake for evolving. You are not flaky for changing your mind. You are not selfish for finally listening to your soul. You are simply becoming honest with yourself, honest with the world. The pressure to stay the same is heavy. People love the version of you they're used to. They might resist your growth. They might try to guilt you back into who you were. Don't go. Don't shrink to fit their comfort. Don't apologize for outgrowing the box they put you in. This is your life, and you don't have to make yourself small to make others feel okay. The truest relationships will meet the real you with open arms. It's okay to leave behind what no longer serves you. It's okay to walk away from roles you never chose. It's okay to feel lost while finding your way. There is power in shedding. Trees lose their leaves every year and still grow back stronger. You can lose what's not meant for you and bloom again. Start asking yourself, who am I when no one's watching? What brings me peace instead of praise? What would I do if I didn't feel obligated? These are not easy questions, but they are doorways. And every time you walk through one, you leave behind a false layer and step into freedom. You don't have to explain your healing to anyone. You don't have to perform for anyone's approval. You don't need a title or label or five-step plan. You just need to listen to that quiet voice inside you, the one that says, "I'm still here and I'm ready to live." Letting go is not the end. It's the beginning of who you really are. Chapter 5. The Beauty of Starting Over. There's something sacred about beginning again. It's terrifying, yes, but also full of possibility. A blank page, a fresh breath, a soft place to land after the fall. We often think starting over means we've failed. But the truth is, starting over means you were brave enough to let go, to walk away, to say, "This is not for me anymore." That takes more strength than staying. The world tells you to build one perfect life and stick to it. But real life is messier than that. Sometimes you choose a path that stops feeling like yours. Sometimes life pushes you off the edge so you can discover you had wings. You're allowed to begin again, at 20, at 35, at 60, at 80. There is no too late for a soul that is still alive. There is no shame in circling back, in rerouting, in walking a different way. What matters isn't how fast you got there. What matters is that you kept listening. And when the voice inside said, "It's time to turn around," you did. New beginnings often come disguised as endings. The heartbreak, it cracked something open. The failure, it revealed what wasn't real. The silence, it gave you space to hear your own voice. You don't have to rush into something new. Sometimes the most powerful way to start again is simply to rest, to sit in the in-between, to breathe, to forgive yourself, to feel the ground beneath you and whisper, "I'm still here. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not lost. You're between chapters, and that space is holy. Use this time to ask, what do I want now? What parts of me need healing before I move forward? What story do I want to live next?" You don't have to rebuild your life all at once. You just have to take the next honest step. It might be small, it might be quiet, but it's yours. Starting over is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's knowing that the version of you who made past choices did the best they could. But you've grown now. You see clearer. You feel deeper. You want different things. And that's not failure. That's transformation. Welcome the restart. Welcome the rebirth. Welcome the version of you that rises not because they have to, but because they're finally ready. You get to begin again. And this time, you begin as someone who knows their worth. Chapter 6. Learning to trust yourself again. There was a time you listened to yourself easily. You knew when something felt right, and when it didn't. You followed your curiosity. You noticed red flags. You felt excitement without asking if it was reasonable. But somewhere along the way, you stopped trusting that voice. Maybe someone told you that you were too sensitive, too dramatic, too unrealistic, too much. So you began to second-guess everything. You looked to others for answers. You waited for permission. You asked for advice even when you already knew what you wanted. You lost faith in your own instincts. But that inner voice, it never left you. It just got quieter while the noise of the world got louder. And now, it's time to come back, to remember that you are wiser than you think, that you've already survived more than you give yourself credit for, that the version of you who's made it this far has earned the right to be trusted. Trust isn't a light switch. It's a relationship. And like any relationship, it takes time to rebuild. Start small. Let yourself make tiny choices without asking anyone else first. Wear what you love. Say what you mean. Go with the option that makes you feel peaceful, even if it doesn't make sense. And when it goes well, celebrate. When it doesn't, don't punish yourself. Learn, adjust, and try again. The more you practice, the stronger your inner compass becomes. You may still feel tempted to ask everyone else what to do. But remember, other people give you advice from their fears, their story, their values. Only, you know what it feels like to live inside your own skin. That doesn't mean ignore wisdom. It means filter it, gather input, reflect on it. Then ask, what does my own voice say? Trusting yourself also means forgiving yourself for the choices that didn't work out, for the signs you ignored, for the detours you now regret. You weren't stupid. You weren't weak. You were doing your best with what you knew at the time, and now you know more. You are allowed to move forward with more clarity, without carrying the shame of your past. You do not need to earn your own trust. You simply need to return to it. It's still there, beneath the doubt, beneath the overthinking, beneath the fear of getting it wrong again. There's a voice that says, go here. Try this. Not that way. Yes. This way. It may be quiet at first, but it is steady, and it is yours. Let it guide you home. Chapter 7. Learning to be alone without feeling lonely. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. But for most of us, the two feel inseparable. Because we were taught that being with someone means we matter, that being surrounded means we're loved, that constant connection is a sign of success. So when the room is quiet, when there's no message waiting, when the only voice is your own, it can feel like something's wrong. But maybe nothing is wrong. Maybe that silence isn't emptiness. Maybe it's space to breathe, to reflect, to come home to yourself. Aloneness isn't punishment. It's practice. It's the sacred art of discovering who you are when no one is watching, when no one is validating, when there's nothing to prove. And in that space, you learn that you can sit with discomfort and not run, that you can hear your thoughts and not drown, that you can be present with your own heart and not feel abandoned. Loneliness whispers, no one cares. But solitude replies, I care. When you befriend your aloneness, you become less afraid of people leaving. You stop begging for crumbs of attention. You stop chasing people who don't stay. Because you already have a home in yourself, that doesn't mean you stop needing people. It means you stop needing people to fill your emptiness. You enter relationships as a whole person, not a broken half. Solitude teaches you boundaries. It teaches you stillness. It teaches you how to listen to the quiet parts of your soul that are too soft to speak in chaos. If being alone scares you, you're not weak. You're human. But don't numb the fear. Sit with it. Ask it questions. Ask, why do I feel empty when I'm by myself? What part of me am I avoiding in the silence? What have I been hoping someone else will fix inside me? You may cry. You may feel restless. You may want to distract yourself again. But if you stay long enough, if you breathe through the discomfort, you'll start to feel something new. Peace, the kind that doesn't depend on who texted back, the kind that doesn't vanish when you're alone, the kind that holds you gently from the inside out. You can learn to love your own company, to enjoy your favorite meal alone, to go for a walk with just your thoughts, to laugh out loud without needing anyone to hear. That's not loneliness. That's freedom. So if today feels quiet, don't rush to fill it. Sit in it. Feel the air. Listen to your breath. Feel your pulse. You are here, and you are not alone, because you have yourself, and that's a relationship worth building. Chapter 8. The Art of Being Present. Most people are not really here. They're thinking about yesterday's mistake. They're worrying about tomorrow's unknown. They're replaying a conversation. They're planning what to say next. They're scrolling, checking, refreshing, escaping, and in all that noise, they miss now. Now is the only moment you truly have. Not yesterday, not next week, only this breath, this step, this heartbeat, But presence is not natural anymore. We've become addicted to distraction. It feels safer to be busy than to be still. Stillness brings up the feelings we've buried. But it also brings clarity. It brings calm. It brings connection to your life. When you're present, your coffee tastes better, the rain sounds softer, a hug lasts longer, a walk becomes sacred, a smile from a stranger warms you. Presence turns ordinary into extraordinary. Not because the moment changed, but because you did. You were finally there. To practice presence is to practice coming back to your breath, coming back to your senses, coming back to what is right in front of you. It's not about forcing silence. It's about noticing. Noticing the way the sun touches the leaves, noticing the rhythm of your footsteps, noticing the sound of your own voice when you speak with honesty. Presence isn't passive. It's power. It gives you space to respond instead of react. It helps you see people more clearly. It teaches you how to live with awareness instead of autopilot. You can start now, right now. Take a breath. Feel it move in. Feel it move out. Notice the pause between. Notice your body. Where is there tension? Where is there peace? You don't have to fix anything, just feel it. When you eat, taste fully. When you walk, walk fully. When you speak, listen to your own voice. When you're with someone, look into their eyes. Put your phone down. Put your mind down. Be here. Your life is not waiting for you in the future. It's happening now. Every beautiful memory you've ever had. It started in a moment like this, so don't miss this one. Don't rush past what is. Slow down. Look up. Feel the air. Listen deeply. This is your life, and it's more beautiful than you've noticed. Come back to it again and again. Chapter 9. Choosing Peace Over Perfection. Perfection is a moving target. No matter how much you do, how much you fix, improve, achieve, it always feels like it's not quite enough. You clean the house, but notice the dust on the shelf. You reach a goal, but feel behind someone else. You finally rest, but guilt creeps in, whispering, you should be doing more. That's what perfection does. It steals your joy in the name of being better. It replaces presence with pressure. It turns everything into a race with no finish line. But peace is different. Peace says, this is enough for today. Peace says, you are not behind. Peace says, you can be proud and growing. At the same time, choosing peace means choosing to breathe even when things feel messy. Choosing peace means letting go of the need to control every outcome. Choosing peace means resting even when the to-do list is not complete. Perfection tells you your worth is tied to performance. Peace reminds you that your worth has never been in question. You don't have to be the best to be valuable. You don't have to be flawless to be lovable. You don't have to do everything to deserve rest. You are enough right now, as you are. Yes, you will grow. Yes, you will keep learning. But not because you're broken, because you are alive. Perfection often comes from fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of being left. Fear of being seen as weak. Peace comes from trust. Trust that life doesn't fall apart if you pause. Trust that you are safe, even when things are uncertain. Trust that people can love the real you, flaws and all. So pause. Right now. Notice what you've already done. Notice what's already working. Notice that the world keeps spinning even when you're not striving. Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension melt. Let yourself exist without fixing. This is not giving up. This is coming home to the version of you that's softer, slower, kinder. The version that laughs more, sleeps deeper, loves fuller. The version that knows peace is not found in perfection, but in permission. Permission to rest. Permission to be human. Permission to live a life that feels good, not just looks good. Choose peace today. Even if it's just for a moment, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if the world doesn't applaud it. Because peace doesn't need applause, it only needs space. And you have the power to create that space right here, right now. Chapter 10. Writing a new story for your life. You've lived many chapters. Some beautiful, some painful, some you're proud of, some you never talk about. But here's the truth. None of those chapters define your entire story. You are not the mistake you made at 19. You are not the relationship that ended in heartbreak. You are not the version of yourself who stayed too long, settled too small, or hid too long. You are the author, and you are still writing. Every day is a blank page, every decision a new sentence, every moment of courage a turning point. You may not be able to erase the past, but you can change the meaning of it. You can learn from it. You can build something new from its ashes. That is the power you hold. You've inherited beliefs from others about who you should be, how life should look, what success means, what love is supposed to feel like. But it's okay to question them. It's okay to rewrite them. It's okay to say, that's not my truth anymore. This is your story now. You get to choose what kind of person you want to be, what values guide your steps, what dreams still light you up, what kind of love you welcome, what kind of peace you protect, what kind of legacy you leave. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to be yours. Writing a new story isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about deciding that the past is not where your power lives. Your power lives here, in this breath, in this choice, in this belief that something more is possible. Let go of the need for your story to be perfect. Let it be honest. Let it be full of twists and detours and quiet victories. Let it be messy and magical. Let it reflect who you really are. No one else has lived your life. No one else has seen the world through your eyes. No one else has your voice. So write the story only you can write. Start with a sentence, then another, then another. One day, you'll look back and see a story you're proud to call your own. Not because it was easy, but because it was real. Because you chose it. Because you lived it fully, and that is a life without regret. Chapter 11. Letting love in. You want love. We all do. But sometimes, we build walls instead of bridges. Not because we don't want connection, but because we're afraid of being seen, afraid of being hurt again, afraid of losing ourselves, afraid of letting someone close enough to matter. You've been through things. Maybe someone left when you needed them most. Maybe someone stayed but made you feel small. Maybe love felt like a trap. Maybe love felt like a test you kept failing. So, you learn to protect yourself. You learn to smile while pulling away. You learn to give, but not receive. You learn to pretend I'm fine when you weren't. But real love isn't supposed to hurt like that. Real love sees you and stays. Real love doesn't demand perfection. Real love doesn't shame your softness or your scars. Real love holds space for all of you. And that love? It starts with you. Letting love in begins with believing you deserve it, that you're not too much, that you're not too broken, that your past doesn't make you unlovable, that your quiet moments are worthy of being heard. You do not need to earn love. You are already worthy. But love can only enter where there is openness, and openness means risk. It means letting people see your messy parts. It means saying, I need help. It means being disappointed sometimes, but knowing that vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. Letting love in also means saying goodbye to the things that block it. The inner critic that says you don't matter. The guilt that tells you to settle. The fear that says everyone will leave. Those voices aren't truth. They're wounds. You can heal them. You can replace them with voices of kindness, with people who speak gently, with spaces that feel safe. And when the right kind of love shows up, don't shrink. Don't sabotage. Don't wait for it to disappear. Let yourself receive it. Let yourself be held. Let yourself be cared for. Let yourself be chosen. It's not selfish to be loved. It's your birthright. So today, open just a little. Tell the truth. A little more. Stay a little longer in someone's arms. Believe a little deeper in what is possible. Love is not perfect, but it is powerful. And when you let it in, your world begins to heal. This book may be ending, but your story is just beginning. Every page you've listened to was a reminder. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to rest, to rise, to try again. If you've felt seen, if you've felt something soften inside you, then let that feeling guide your next steps. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need the courage to keep showing up for your life, for your heart, for the moments that matter. This is not goodbye. This is a gentle nudge forward. Keep writing your story. Keep becoming who you were always meant to be. Thank you for listening to this audiobook on the Audiobook Healing channel. Please like and leave a comment to help spread positivity to others.